one piece of the box is already opened. Amazon warehouse deal of the day. Well, actually, no, just the Amazon warehouse deal. Used, like new. And as Average Joe likes to say, we'll see. It will come repackaged. Ooh, yes. It is missing a part of the box that's in there. Alrighty. That's just styrofoam in there. Some piece of styrofoam. So this is how it's repackaged, just like that, with bubble. So the claim was, has minor cosmetic issues or damage to the bridge, on the bridge. And I'm thinking, this guitar has a tunematic style bridge. How can it have cosmetic issues? It's metal. Ah, loose elastic. Big heavy one. So this is my second branded guitar. Squire. So last one was an Epiphone, this one is a Squire. What is this? Oh, look at that, we got a wrench for the truss rod. Didn't get one with the Epiphone. There's some paperwork. Welcome to Squire. Blah blah blah. Put that over there. At least there was some foaming in the bottom to protect the bottom part, so when they stood it up it wasn't going to be banging on the bottom of the unit. One corner brace, one loose piece of foam, bubble, and a piece of cardboard that was over the neck, not under the neck. So unfortunately there are still some Amazon people that do not know how to pack or repack a guitar in a way that you could best protect it from being damaged by the delivery people here. Alright, it's black. Let's put the black glasses down. It's quite dirty. It's got full-size pots up underneath there. So this is the Squire Affinity series, not the Vibe. Apparently I was doing some research on this just before they delivered it. Okay, so there's a few scratches here on the back. I wouldn't say that's the bridge area. You can just see those right in there. Just in the light certain way. I might be able to buff some of that out. And so this was on Amazon warehouse deal for $267.99. Listing typically for $419.99, and there wasn't any way I was going to pay that money for it. And so I've been circling them for a while, just keeping my eyes out, and lo and behold, one turned up on the warehouse deal. So this was 2 days ago, and so today, when I was back on there doing some research, price dropped to $379.99 for brand spanking new. Special deal right now on all of them except the Tobacco Sunburst. For some reason, Tobacco Sunbursts are revered, but not by me. They're the ones I hate the most. The candy apple red in this is my favorite. The fret ends are not terrible. They're not as good as I want them, but they're not terrible. So I looked up the specs, and it's got die-cast tuners, it's got maple on maple neck, it's a satin finish, which feels pretty good. These are Fender style die-cast tuners, and they got no tab on the side here. It's got those two little pins that go in the wood behind the neck, but luckily this style can be easily be replaced if you want to with the 45-degree angle tab. You just have to re-drill the hole, and the other two pips are covered by the body anyway. So the neck looks nice. The way it's angled, it's either the way the body's built, which could be, or there's a shim. As you see how the neck looks like it is a ski slope going up, ski jump, for people that know about skiing. Yeah, so the tailpiece is a standard. Now it's got colored strings, but they're not the Dario colors at all. It's supposed to be 9-42s as the basic. The humbuckers are Squire standard humbuckers, which I presume means ceramic pickups. And the difference between this and the Vibe is that the Vibe has better humbuckers, they say. But the wood is pretty much all the same. The Vibe has F-hole binding, and this one actually said in the spec on the Fender site, black binding all around. Well, there's no binding on this guitar, so even Fender makes mistakes. And the Vibes do have a binding, but it's pretty much a laminate maple neck and body. I should say body, front and back. And somebody reported that acoustically the Vibe sounds better than this Affinity. And acoustically, I don't really care. It's got a plastic nut. I've got bone nuts that should be able to replace that perfectly. It seems like it might be canting a little bit. But the bridge is quite high. The bridge on this is not the standard kind of bridges that I have. This is the one with the small posts inside. And all the ones I have are large. It also has the small screw up in the bottom, which again is not the kind that I have. The post in the body is a very small, non-standard. So I do not have a roller bridge that could replace this one because of the style. Disappointing that is like that. I would have liked to have been able to reuse a stock that I've already paid money for. The tailpiece looks like it might be leaning forward a little bit, or it's just the way the reflection is, but I don't know, this tailpiece might be just a little bit forward. I'll have to put it on the bench and take a look. Loosen up the strings a little bit and see. Make a decision whether this warehouse deal is worth keeping or not. Having problems with this Tab S tablet that I do all my recordings with. It's not maintaining a charge when it's plugged in. It was 100%, and when I went to get it today it was 0, so it's discharging somehow. So I've replaced battery and charging port on this thing, twice for the battery, once for the charging port, and it's acting up on me again. And the battery was new old stock because nobody's making new batteries for these Tab S's, and I don't want to spend $1,000 for another new Samsung Tab S, which is what they are up here. So I'm trying to make do. So the battery's low on this one, so we're gonna cut this first segment off while I go downstairs and take a look at this on my bench, and I'll get back to you as soon as I have something figured out with this tablet. Well, as it turns out, my Tab S is a little bit sick, and I'm using my Tab A again, and you may find a little bit of difference in the video and audio quality. So I just brought this thing down here to the bench, and I wanted to see, I mean, obviously somebody put some buckle marks on that. This wasn't just an open box, and you know, they didn't like it and sent it back because the whole box is missing that it would have normally come with. There's greasy marks all over the thing. They didn't even try to clean it up. They just repackaged it and threw it in a box. So I'm going to give this part here a little bit of a clean up with this wax and see if that shines up okay. And I'm pretty sure that just the greasy hand marks are going to be all right. I'm pretty sure that's not going to, though. Pretty sure that's not going to work with just this. There's other little stuff all over the place. So this is obviously not the bridge of the guitar, it's the back of the guitar. The crazy bridge on this thing, I've never seen one like that before. I've seen a style like it online, but I'm not sure that I've actually seen the kinds of body studs, anchors that these are. Alright, it cleans up pretty good. Almost got that completely out of there, which means that with a compound I could probably get the rest of this out with the compound. The top is really dirty and dusty. I don't know if that'll come out in the light or not, but yeah, it's pretty grody. Underneath there is, like, you know, dust and dirt stuck in the grease. Well, let's see if it'll tune up. On there. Oh, there's a problem like I've had in some of the Erts. The string is caught underneath the edge of a fret, which means that there's a high, yep, there's a high-ended fret there at 8. Buzzing. And the reason for that is, oh, the nut. The bridge. I don't know. The bridge is not one of those wire retaining types. It must be the cut over the nut. The nut is straight, cut straight across the top. There's no back angle on the nut, even though they've got a string tree pulling it back. It's flat, and it's giving me the sitar. The truss rod, ooh, the truss rod is huge bow. A huge bow. Oh. Is the truss rod not in that hole? Is the truss rod not in that hole? It is. Oh, there. Oh, and the truss rod won't move. Stand by. So the truss rod Allen key that came with it has an 1/8 of an inch longer piece of shaft on it here that makes it fit into the deeper hole that the standard one is not. Oh, that's really... I think I can feel it moving. It was way over in the loosey-goosey area beyond center, because now she's coming up on center. You probably can't see any of that because you're out of frame, but it was way over on the loosey-goosey side, kind of tightened in. That's why it was not wanting to move, and now she's in the center where she's kind of loosey-goosey there. Let me just take a look. Even without glasses, I can see that there's still an improvement to make by giving it some tightening. I can feel the neck responding to the truss rod with my hand. Yes, that is getting much better. And I'm going to try it right there for now. So remember that this is theirs. I'm not going to say it's mine until I'm finished with it. Yeah, this nut is just flat across the top. There's no back angle to it at all. Right, so let's give it another shot. Okay. That's much closer. And the action, I just kind of set it by eye. We're going to check the nut height as well. Since it's plastic, it's probably off, but it looks pretty close. After a while, you start to get a feeling for it. Okay, so that, Christ, by eye, I got it right on where I want it, 4 and 3. I'm getting good at that. And by eye, setting it on at 4 and 3, the actual, I don't know how much screw thread there is in the body of the guitar, but that's how high the bridge sits when it's sitting at 4/64 and 3/64 on the treble side. Look at how high that is. That has not happened on any guitars that I've ever had in here. That worries me because that screw post is very tiny compared to the big beefier ones that we normally get. Okay. Let's see what she sounds like electrically. Okay, so I have tuned it. Let's see if she's still there. It is. This has a 9.5 radius. I hate those. And typically what you have with a 9.5 radius is, and especially with a tunematic style bridge, is it's too high in the middle up here, and you get when all the rest of them don't. And in order to overcome that, you've got to have the bridge even higher, and or go in there and cut down all these frets up here to stop that, to create what's called a fall off, which is a pain in the ass and it's way too much work. This came in at $300.02 with taxes. And I have to tell you that even at the $267 warehouse deal, for what Fender's asking for this guitar, it's not really there. The body is somewhat very cheapish. The bridge is extremely cheapish. The neck on the back and everything feels okay. Don't like the front radius. The knobs here are like the cheapest of the cheapest plastic knobs you can find. And this one's rotating like a flying saucer that's about to crash. The nut is flat cut. And we'll see what she sounds like. We'll put her on the bridge. I set the pickup height properly as well. That has some robust output to it. Sounds pretty good. It's not chimey, it's not too bassy either. Neck. Middle. There's a little black fly flying around in this basement, I think, that's been biting me and giving me things on my arms like that. I'm gonna have to find a way to kill it. So let's see what the tones sound like through the switches. One, bridge. Not a lot of variation, no drop in the middle. So these pickups have some good output to them. Kind of expect that from the ceramics. They're not the worst ceramics I've ever heard. And you know, if it was a little bit better built guitar, I might even keep it. But seeing as how it's a semi-hollow, you know, this is not even as nice as a Firefly at a third the price. Yeah, I would have to change an awful lot of stuff on this. And for the price I paid, I can get better guitars for the money that I wouldn't have to do as much work on and be a little bit happier with it overall. This laminate body is actually fairly flimsy. But the resonance I'm already at 5 on the knob here. 7. So between 7 and 10 is where almost all of the output comes from. That means that they don't have a linear pot there. It's probably a logarithmic. Probably the wrong kind of pot as well. Yeah, I think Jay, even though it's black, I think it's going back, buddy. Crafted in Indonesia. I think it's going back, buddy. I'm not really happy with what this is overall. Even if it was a brand new one, the money they're asking for these things, like 420 bucks for the Affinity, they want 520 bucks for the Vibe. No. Fender, sorry, it's a no-go. Well, I'm preparing their box to go back, and I'm going to do even a little bit better job than they did, trying to protect it from physical damage. I've got foam I've taken out of other boxes. Try and protect that. Got one corner there. Better corner there, and the bottom is in. Got bubble wrap underneath. Got bubble wrap on the top. And that should suspend the neck properly. I hope that'll fit in their box. Okay, it's too thick. I'll go with half of it. There, that'll do it. Alright, so, yeah, that's up. So I have to cut the return label, put it on the box, and drop it off. This will be, I got to drop it off Monday. Today is Saturday, the 9th of July. Thanks for watching this one, and as I said in the last piece of it, catch you in the next one.